Everyone, and welcome to my channel. I am Zizo Sifuba, a registered financial advisor. On this channel, we simplify personal finances, covering topics like retirement planning, estate planning, insurance, general financial wellness for South Africans. If this is something that interests you, please consider subscribing. Please note that this content is for educational purposes only and is not financial advice. Now let's get into today's episode. What is the single most important financial move you can make right now, no matter your income, your age, or how much debt you have? It's not investing, it's not paying off your bond, it's not taking a retirement annuity or an investment. It's building an emergency fund, because without one, every single financial plan you make is built on sand. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what an emergency fund is, how much you need, and how to build one, even if you're starting from zero. What is the single most important financial move you can make right now, no matter your income, your age, or how much debt you have? It's not investing, it's not paying off your bond, it's not taking a retirement annuity or an investment. It's building an emergency fund, because without one, every single financial plan you make is built on sand. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what an emergency fund is, how much you need, and how to build one, even if you're starting from zero. So what exactly is an emergency fund? It is a dedicated pool of cash kept separate from your spending account, set aside specifically for genuine, unexpected financial emergencies. This is not for holidays, for your phone and jar. This is for genuine financial emergencies, like losing your job, a medical crisis, car repairs, a family crisis. The key here is separate. If your emergency fund lives in the same account you spend from, it will slowly disappear, one small quote unquote emergency at a time. And here's what an emergency fund is not. It is not an investment. It is not supposed to earn high returns. It is supposed to be accessible, stable, and there when you need it. So don't go lock it where you can't get in a case of emergency. How much do you actually need in your emergency fund? The standard recommendation is 3 to 6 months of your essential living expenses, not 3 to 6 months of your salary. 3 to 6 months of what it costs to keep your household running. Think rent, bond repayment, food, electricity, transport, medical aid, things like that. So if you were to lose your job tomorrow, what are the things you will still need? The things you cannot leave, your household can't operate without. So you have to think of that, which is why it's important to always have a budget, because you then be able to know the number if you have a budget. So if you are a salaried employee, 3 months is your minimum target. But if you're self-employed or earning a commission like me, or a freelancer, or you work on contracts, then 6 months is your minimum. That's the number you should be targeting. So where should you save for emergencies? So where should you keep your emergency fund? I'm going to give you 3 rules. It must be accessible. You must be able to get to it within 24 to 48 hours of your emergency. It must be in a separate account, not your everyday account, not your credit card, not in an investment. And it must sit in a low risk account. So you do not want also a situation where you've locked your money and when you need it, you end up with penalties when you want to withdraw. Now the practical part, how do you build an emergency fund, especially when money is already tight? Because we know that's the South African reality. A lot of households are struggling financially, but we still need to have an emergency fund to make sure that our situation doesn't get worse when we have financial emergencies. So you build it in stages. The first stage I'm going to call the baby emergency fund. So this is that before anything else, before any goal you have right now, get 5 to 10,000 rand set aside. I'm not saying take 5 to 10,000 rands from your salary and set it aside. Build to 5 to 10,000 rands.
How long it will take you to get there will depend on your situation. One person, it might take them 2 months, but the next person might take them a year to get to that 5 to 10,000 rands. This will be your first line of defense against the most common emergencies, like a car repayment, a medical co-payment, or broken appliances. This will prevent you from going into your credit card, from uvula amatyala, or taking out loans the minute there is an emergency. Then stage two is building to your 1 month target. So your 1 month target is like your 1 month of essential expenses. Once you have your baby fund set up an automatic debit order. 300 rands, 500 rands, 1,000, whatever amount it is you can afford, but set up and just automate it so that it goes off on the day you get paid, and that you will not be able to like reverse it. Then stage three, that's reaching your full 3 to 6 months target. That is the end goal. This is the finish line. Once you are here, you can then stop. You are done with your emergency fund. But redirect though that debit order to an RA, an investment, something now for your future. This is now when you can say, I have the money to do these things, because I will not need to go deep into my retirement savings, into my child's education fund when an emergency comes up, because you've got it set aside somewhere. So once you have your emergency fund, this is now the time to start talking about your retirement annuity, to start talking about investing for your future. Now let me go back to if money is tight, because like I said, it's the South African reality. How do you prioritize? What do you do first if money is tight? The correct order that I would say follow is: one, build your baby emergency fund. Because without this, you one small emergency away from digging into debt. And then number two, pay off your high interest debt. You know, your credit cards, personal loans, store accounts. That should be your second priority. Number three, build your full emergency fund. That is to 3 to 6 months, and then you start contributing to your RA. So this is someone who says, I have these issues. You're saying I must build an emergency fund, but I have my other financial struggles. Start with your baby emergency fund, then move on to those other issues, which is paying off debt. Then after that, let's start investing. Remember, an emergency fund is not optional. It is the foundation of every financial plan. It's like your budget. You need those two. You need your budget, you need an emergency fund. So it's not optional. You have to have an emergency fund if you do not want to end up in a situation where you have to borrow money every time there's an emergency. So from today, here's your action plan. So something you can do right now. You work out your monthly essentials. So work out what is it that, like, even if I didn't have a job, I would still need to spend on this, and that. Even your policies do fall into that, because, I mean, that thing you were taking the policy for is still there. So do not forget that. So work out your monthly essentials. Then open a separate account where you're going to save for your emergencies. If you need suggestions, if you need financial advice, you need to know where to put this money, you're not sure, you can then contact me. I will direct you to the account that I think is appropriate for your emergency fund. So once you've done that, you've opened the account, set up debit order, like automated, so that it deducts from your account, whether it's 300 rands, it's 500 rands, that amount of money you'll be able to stick to. That's your next step. Then your following step is, if you have like monies that come through, like extra monies, so this is not now from your salary. It's tax season now, you might be getting money from SARS. 50% of that money, put away, put in your emergency fund. When you get a bonus, like 13th check, performance bonus, whatever bonus it is that you get, put it in the put it in the emergency fund. While you're building your emergency fund, we can't say you have free money. So you know that thing we do when we get paid, you first go and swipe everything that you like, whether it's a need or a want. We don't do such, because we're sticking to a budget and we need to put money for emergencies. So once you've built your emergency fund to your 3 or 6 months, or whatever number it is you're comfortable with, but remember minimum 3 months at least, then you can redirect all that money that you were putting away to you can redirect that debit order to your retirement annuity investments. That would be basically the action plan that I would give you if you were my client now and I was giving you advice. Thank you so much for your time. Oh, before I go, I just forgot, I have a quick example of where not to put your emergency fund. So I'm your cautionary tale. My daughter has an account and we forgot her PIN, and we haven't used this account in like 2 years. And I would say, like, if someone wants to send money, like it's her birthday and someone wants to send her 50 rand, 100 rand or whatever, like put it in her account, I would do that. But it's been 2 years without touching this account because I didn't have the PIN. And then last week I decided to go to the bank to get a new PIN for her. I didn't know how much was in there, but definitely I was not expecting less than 500 rands, because there were a few times that I remember even I transferring money to that account. And then lo and behold, 165 rands or 85 rand, 185 rands is the balance. I'm like, how now, brown cow? And then the consultant is like, what's going on? I'm like, no, I was not expecting this money. I was expecting more. I think even double, or yeah, I was expecting like more, not less than 500. And then she's like, why? I'm like, I haven't been using this account, but I can remember a few times where we've put money into this account. I have not looked at the statement to this day because I don't want to cry. But yeah, I didn't look at the statement. And then she's like, bank charges. Remember, bank charges. If you're not using that, I can open a pocket account. I don't know why I never thought of that. I never thought of opening a pocket account for her before we, especially like before we stopped using it. Like when I was like, I'm saving money for her, she can use it for whatever. Yeah, I never thought about it, but now I know better. And I mean, I knew better, but I didn't do better. I don't know. So I'm like the cautionary tale in this case. So don't be like me. If there is a bank account you have, don't just transfer money to it, money you're not gonna touch, because they're gonna come for the bank charges every month, and then the bank charges will be eating your money. Don't let that happen to you. Please remember, anything I share here is not financial advice. This is for education purposes. If you need a financial advisor, I am available. Please subscribe, share, like. I would love to hear from you. Thank you. Bye.